So, before you is the Earth, a couple of million years after the extinction of the dinosaurs. The planet has long recovered from the asteroid collision. In those fateful days, almost all animals weighing more than 10 kilograms were wiped out, leaving room for small creatures, mammals. Previously living in the shadow of the dinosaurs, mammals found it easier to survive due to their smaller size, requiring less food and shelter. These qualities helped them endure mass extinctions, leading to an evolutionary race for dominance in strength, size, and speed to claim the top spot in the food chain and ensure survival. This race resulted in the emergence of a new creature 30 million years after the dinosaurs' disappearance, the Entelodon, also known as the hell pig. This pig-like monster, the size of a hippopotamus, was one of the fiercest animals to walk the earth.
Entelodons were highly aggressive, especially during mating season, battling fiercely for mates, inflicting terrible wounds on each other. They stood atop the food chain, possessing deadly jaws and teeth designed for tearing large chunks of meat. These monsters typically ambushed their prey, calculating distance and pouncing, overpowering and devouring them. Additionally, Entelodons could steal prey from other predators like hyenas, making survival easier than hunting prey themselves. However, the Entelodon wasn't solely carnivorous. It was omnivorous, consuming anything available in the rapidly changing world. This adaptability contributed to their success over millions of years. The Entelodon ruled as the beast king, roaming the wastelands of North America fearlessly, consuming everything in its path, seizing any prey it desired. Perhaps it was the most bloodthirsty beast on the planet. No one could rid the world of the dominance of this monster, which lasted millions of years, until the planet itself intervened. 25 million years ago, the Miocene epoch began, bringing extreme cold, transforming the climate of North America, where Entelodons thrived. As forests dwindled and landscapes turned into endless fields, the scarcity of plant food led to mass extinction. To survive, animals had to traverse vast distances in search of food. One by one, various species perished, and expensive Entelodons began to disappear. As the hell pig often scavenged food from these predators to stave off hunger, its fate was uncertain. However, evolution refused to surrender to the onslaught of nature and transformed the hell pig into a monstrous giant, around 2 meters tall. This immense size allowed the pig to cover much greater distances, more frequently finding and killing larger prey. The Terminator pig retained its tank-like body and sprinter's legs, while its strength and jaws became even more formidable. Scientists dubbed it dinosaurs, meaning terrible pig in Latin, so terrifying it earned the nickname Terminator pig.
It was a monster among monsters, with a primitive brain, living solely on instincts, a true death machine. 5 million years later, in North America, new monstrous predators emerged, amphicyonids, also known as bear dogs, simply dreadful creatures. Imagine an animal assembled from the deadliest parts of a wolf and a bear. That's exactly what the bear dog was. It wasn't just a predator, it was a super predator, unlike anything ever seen among mammals. Leading the pack for several million years, these monsters migrated from China and Mongolia, crossing the Bering Strait into North America. Literally carving their path, they swiftly displaced the last remaining dire wolves and saber-toothed cats, which posed no threat to them. Consequently, these predators vanished entirely, unable to compete. It was challenging to counter the bear dogs. They were incredibly fast, enduring, and powerful predators. When bear dogs completely eradicated the dire wolves and saber-toothed cats from North America, they faced only one competitor, dinosaurs.
However, unlike the primitive intelligence of the terrifying pig, the bear dogs were much smarter. Their brains were more developed with more convolutions. It's assumed that even a single bear dog, thanks to its cunning and superior maneuverability, could easily snatch prey from the terrifying pig, sending it fleeing. As a result, bear dogs gradually displaced the dire wolves, which were further exacerbated by the increasingly arid climate, reducing prey availability. Eventually, dinosaurs went extinct entirely. All the animals I've mentioned primarily lived in North America and Eurasia. None of them ever ventured into South America, which was isolated by the ocean. A different predator ruled there, the dinosaur that managed to survive the asteroid collision and evolved into a massive, terrifying bird called cassowary. For tens of millions of years, these monsters instilled terror in the terrestrial mammals of North America. It was the only time when birds were the most formidable predators on the continent. With powerful, elongated legs, these monsters had excellent running capabilities. Some scientists even accuse paracassawaries of completely wiping out hoofed animals on the continent. Paracassowary was a true fighting machine, with very strong claws and a powerful combat beak. These terrifying birds bludgeoned their prey to death with vertical strikes of their beaks, akin to an axe. They were intelligent and agile. No one could stand against them. However, 5 million years ago, due to volcanic eruptions, the Panamanian Isthmus formed, connecting South and North America. Over time, paracassawaries crossed it to the new lands, where they encountered a vast amount of new prey, but also formidable competitors, such as jaguars and the legendary 300-kilogram saber-toothed cats. Tigers boldly invaded South America, displacing the paracassawaries. Saber-toothed tigers were the strongest and largest cats of all time. These behemoths, possessing incredible strength and armed with huge sharp fangs, ruled over the territories of North and South America. For about 2 million years, the jaw strength and hunting adaptability made the saber-toothed tiger an extremely dangerous opponent. Smilodon hunted mastodons, bison, young mammoths, and sometimes horses. Their favorite treat was the so-called megafauna. Smilodons ambushed and attacked their prey, similar to how modern lions hunt. An interesting fact is that when cats owned their prey, they didn't immediately sink their teeth into it to avoid breaking them since they were quite fragile. Therefore, the predators first immobilized the prey on the ground, and only when it was completely immobilized did they sink their teeth into it, which served as precise killing tools. They simultaneously cut off the blood supply and severed the trachea. One bite, and the victim was dead. For Smilodons, it was extremely important to kill and devour prey quickly because, at that time, they competed with a huge number of predators. For example, a large pack of wolves could easily steal food, or paracassawaries could snatch a piece if they fell. Furthermore, there were more serious opponents, such as the massive American lion, a terrifying beast that didn't need saber teeth. Or, for example, the giant short-faced bear, the largest bear ever lived, and one of the largest mammalian predators roaming the earth. It could easily overpower even 3 Smilodons. There were also giant ground sloths, megatheriums. These monsters with huge claws reached a height of 6 meters and weighed more than an elephant. They could easily kill a saber-toothed tiger with a single blow. Under their skin were small bones that acted as armor. In those times, there were many species of giant sloths, and various predators hunted them, but not megatheriums. Adult specimens of these creatures were literally invincible. Sometimes, megatheriums supplemented their diet with carrion, and if someone got in their way, they died immediately. As you can see, Smilodons were lucky with their saber-like fangs, which allowed them to kill prey quickly before competitors arrived. Saber-toothed tigers were very successful predators and became extinct only 10,000 years ago when the world around them changed too much. Huge forests turned into grassy prairies. Mammoths, giant sloths, and other pasture inhabitants began to die out. The number of large animals to hunt decreased, and they were now mainly found in open fields, where it was very difficult to approach prey unnoticed. Thus, predators started to disappear. During the same period, most of the so-called dire wolves died out, and slightly later, giant short-faced bears and lions followed suit. Honestly, no one knows for sure why Smilodons became extinct. However, it happened precisely in those years when North and South America began to be populated by other terrifying and simply invincible predators distinguished by incredible inventiveness and cunning, humans. Some scientists believe that they wiped out the last saber-toothed tigers. Many even think that humans contributed to the disappearance of mammoths, the largest herbivorous animals of that time. Although most scientists believe that the role of humans in this matter is overestimated and the decisive factor was still the change in climate, which sharply reduced the amount of food available.
30,000 years ago, the world experienced an ice age, and living conditions became extremely harsh, even for well-adapted mammoths, whose fur saved them. With the onset of winter, their fur grew longer and longer. However, despite such protection, in some areas, these giants had to embark on multi-kilometer journeys southward to the foot of mountains to escape the cold wind. Small groups gathered into huge herds and together covered the distance to the best places. However, there were other dangers there. For example, another human species, the Neanderthals. Neanderthals were masters of hunting mammoths, employing several hunting tactics. For example, they could ambush when mammoths passed by a cliff, wait for nightfall, take torches, and start scaring the animals with fire, forcing them to retreat to the cliff. Since they had poor night vision, the unfortunate animals naturally fell into the abyss.
This way, Neanderthals not only obtained a lot of meat but also hunted wounded but still living mammoths at the bottom in a similar manner. Moreover, they hunted deer ancestors for 300,000 years. Although they often got it from their prey, hunting mammoths was much more dangerous and often ended fatally for many hunters. But they had to eat, so the risk was justified. The carcass of the killed animal was used to the fullest, nothing went to waste. The meat was eaten, the skins were used for warmth, and the tusks could be used to create a shelter. Neanderthals were excellent hunters, which allowed them to survive for hundreds of thousands of years. They were shorter than modern humans, although their muscle mass was 30% larger than ours, making them true strongmen. About 500 to 700,000 years ago, we shared a common ancestor with them, as did many animals of the Ice Age. Neanderthals had large noses to warm the air before inhaling, thereby reducing the risk of catching a cold. These hunters remained in the same valleys throughout the year, waiting out the harsh winter in caves. The most surprising thing is that at the age of 8, they were already entering sexual life, and many girls gave birth to children at 9 or 10 years old. However, this is not surprising since the average life expectancy of Neanderthals was only 23 years. The last ice age hit them very hard, and they began to die out. Additionally, the intrusion of modern humans into their territory led to the killing of some Neanderthals. The rest intermarried with representatives of our species, and as a result of hybridization, Neanderthals completely disappeared a couple of thousand years later. However, our species began to thrive and quickly took a dominant position in the world. Soon, no predator on the planet could resist humans anymore. Millions of years of evolution of various creatures focused on developing speed, huge sizes, and large sharp teeth, thinking that this would increase the chances of survival and dominance of the species. However, no matter how strong and fierce animals nature created, evolution always chose in favor of various reasons, and only the evolution of one creature decided to bet on the development of intelligence and did not lose. Intelligence turned out to be much more effective than a pile of muscles and huge jaws. Humans who gained intelligence became virtually invincible and quickly took the first place in the food chain. While other animals always had to adapt to the environment, humans began to adapt the environment to themselves. High intelligence turned out to be such an effective survival tool that humans even managed to survive a powerful ice age, which many animals, including mammoths, could not do. That's all for me. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.